I trusted my brother with everything, my savings, my future. But when I opened the account, the money was gone. And so was he. I still remember the night it all started, like it's burned into the back of my mind. We were sitting at the kitchen table, a bottle of whiskey between us, laughing like brothers are supposed to laugh. He was always the smooth one, the one with the big ideas, the quick tongue, the ability to make anyone believe him. And me, I was the careful one, the saver, the one who said no when everyone else said yes. It wasn't glamorous, but it was steady. Every month, I tucked away a piece of my paycheck into savings. I wasn't chasing yachts or flashy cars. I just wanted a house, a place to call mine. After years of renting shoebox apartments, I wanted 4 walls that belonged to me, a key that only I held. He knew this. He'd seen me counting pennies when we were younger, skipping nights out just to keep my savings intact. He'd teased me for it, but with that brotherly grin that made you feel like he was proud of you. Even when he mocked you. That night, as the bottle ran lower, he leaned across the table with that look he always wore before he pitched one of his brilliant schemes. "You're wasting your time, man," he said. "Letting the bank babysit your money for what, 1% interest? You'll be 40 before you can buy a place." I shrugged. "Slow and steady. It's working," he smirked, shaking his head. "Or you could let me help. I know a guy. Private fund. Legit stuff. We put your savings in, watch it grow. Way faster than a regular account. I'll handle everything. You don't even have to lift a finger." Maybe it was the whiskey. Maybe it was the way he looked at me, like he was offering me a shortcut to the dream I'd been chasing my whole life. But I said yes. I said yes, and I signed the papers he slid across the table a week later. Joint account. Both our names. I told myself it was safe. He was my brother. Blood. If you can't trust blood, who can you trust? And for a while, everything seemed fine. He'd send me screenshots of the balance, numbers climbing higher, month after month. "See?" He'd grin, holding up his phone like proof of his genius. "Told you I'd take care of you." And I believed him. God, I believed him. But trust has a way of rotting quietly, like fruit left in the dark. You don't notice the smell until it's too late, and by the time I caught the stench, everything I'd worked for, everything I'd saved, was already gone. At first, it was nothing, small things I brushed off. A text he didn't answer. A meeting he claimed ran late. A promise to stop by that turned into, "Sorry, man, something came up." I told myself it didn't matter. He was busy. He always was. That was his charm and his curse. He was the kind of guy who never stopped moving, always chasing something, always in the middle of a deal. But then the little things started piling up. One night, I asked him to show me the balance again, just out of curiosity. He was at my place, beer in hand, lounging on my couch like he owned it. When I mentioned it, I saw something flicker in his eyes. Quick, almost invisible. Yeah, I'll pull it up later," he said, waving it off. "Don't worry, man. You're golden. It's working better than either of us thought." I nodded, but the flicker stuck with me. "The next week?" I asked again. This time he got annoyed. "Why don't you trust me, huh? After everything we've been through, you think I'd screw you over?" His voice cracked with this sharp edge I hadn't heard before. It hit me like a punch, because it wasn't just annoyance. It was defensiveness. Like I had touched a nerve I wasn't supposed to. That night I couldn't sleep. I stared at the ceiling, my chest tight, my gut twisting with something I didn't want to name. Suspicion. So I called the bank. I wasn't on the account, not really. Not the way I thought I was. They told me my name was nowhere in their system. I remember holding the phone, listening to the clerk repeat it slowly like I was stupid. Like maybe I hadn't understood the question, but I had. I hung up, hands shaking. My heart thudded against my ribs like it was trying to break free. He had lied. From the start, and worse, he had my signature. I could see it clearly in my mind, the forms he'd slid across the table, the ones I'd signed without really reading, trusting that my brother wouldn't trick me. That night, I didn't sleep. I sat in the dark with the whiskey bottle between my knees, replaying every moment, every conversation, every grin, and every reassurance. And for the first time, I realized the cracks weren't just in the glass. The whole thing was about to shatter. I didn't wait long. The next day, I showed up at his apartment unannounced. My fist pounded the door harder than I intended, and when he finally opened it, his eyes flicked wide for a second before narrowing back into that easy grin. Damn, man. You look like hell. What's going on? I pushed past him without answering. The place reeked of takeout and stale beer, but that wasn't what got me. On the counter, beneath a stack of unopened mail, I saw it. A folder, thick, with bank logos stamped across the top. I reached for it, but he snatched it up so fast I almost laughed. Almost. What the hell is that? I asked, my voice colder than I'd ever heard it. Relax, he said, forcing a chuckle. It's just paperwork. You don't need to worry about it. That's when something inside me snapped. Don't need to worry? You forged my signature, didn't you? You set up everything in your name and made me believe I was part of it. You lied straight to my face. His grin faltered. Just for a moment. But I saw it. The truth slipping through. Then it was gone, replaced with that cocky, dismissive laugh. You're being paranoid, man. Come on, you've always been like this. Overthinking, stressing out over nothing. But my chest was on fire, my hands shaking as I pointed at the folder. Show me. If I'm wrong, prove it. Open it right now. He froze. That silence lasted maybe 3 seconds, but it felt like a lifetime. His eyes darted to the folder, then back to me. And in that pause, I had all the answer I needed. I stepped closer, my voice low, dangerous. You stole from me. You stole everything I worked for. He didn't deny it. He didn't even flinch. Instead, he leaned back against the counter, arms crossed, and said the one thing I'll never forget. Maybe you should have paid more attention before signing your life away. The words hit me like a blade to the gut. Because he wasn't just mocking me, he was admitting it. That was the moment I realized this wasn't just about money. It was about betrayal. About someone I trusted more than anyone, taking a knife to the bond we'd built. I stormed out before I did something I couldn't take back. My ears rang, my vision blurred, and all I could think was, how far did he go? What else has he done with my name, my trust, my life? And as the door slammed behind me, I knew this wasn't over. Not even close. The weeks blurred into each other. Calls with the bank, meetings with lawyers, sleepless nights where the ticking of the clock felt like a countdown. I thought I had seen every angle of his betrayal, every hidden debt, every forged signature, every trap he'd left for me to stumble into. But betrayal doesn't end neatly. It festers. It grows roots in places you can't see. I learned that the night the envelope came, it had no return address, no stamp, nothing official. Just my name scrawled across the front in ink that looked almost rushed, smeared in one corner as if someone's hand had trembled while writing it. Inside was a single sheet of paper. Not another bill. Not another threat, a deed, my name, printed bold at the top. His forged signature curled mockingly beside it. At the bottom, an address, one I didn't recognize. At first, I thought it was another mistake, another scam I'd have to unravel. But the longer I stared at that piece of paper, the heavier it felt in my hands, like it was dragging me somewhere I didn't want to go. The address was real. Too real. Hours later, I found myself gripping the steering wheel so tightly my knuckles ached as I followed a winding country road. The sun dipped lower, bleeding red into the horizon, until the trees swallowed the light and left me alone in the dark. The GPS blinked, then died. The signal cut out. Still, I kept driving. When I finally pulled up, my headlights swept across a crumbling driveway and a house that looked less like a home and more like a tomb. 2 stories, windows boarded, paint stripped to gray, the kind of place children dared each other to enter on Halloween. It leaned against itself, sagging as if it was tired of standing, but it was mine. My name was on the deed. The air was heavy. Too still. I killed the engine, and the silence pressed in so thick it felt alive. That was when I saw it. The front door. It wasn't locked. It wasn't even fully closed. It stood cracked open, swaying slightly like it had been waiting for me. My chest tightened. Logic screamed to turn around, to get back in the car and never look back. But betrayal doesn't just chain you, it drags you. And I was already too far in to stop. The gravel crunched under my shoes as I stepped closer. My pulse pounded so loud I could hear it in my ears. With every step, my body begged me to turn back. Then the door moved. Not by the wind. Not by accident. Slowly. Purposefully. It creaked wider until the darkness inside seemed to spill out, swallowing the last of the daylight. And in that darkness, he stood. I couldn't see his face clearly, but I didn't have to. The way he leaned in the doorway, casual, patient, like a spider who'd been waiting for its prey to crawl into the web. And then, the smile, the faint curve of his lips catching the dim light. Not triumphant, not cruel, playful, as if the real game hadn't even started yet. My throat went dry. Goodbye, see you in next video.